This video is sponsored by OWC. A wireless charging desk mat, an elegant aluminum desk shelf that has a bunch of awesome matching desktop accessories, and an external touch bar-esque device on steroids. These are just some of my favorite accessories that complete my current Mac desk setup for 2022, alongside some other devices that I'm going to talk about in this video. But before we get into everything, it would mean a lot if you would consider hitting the like button and subscribing if and only if you actually enjoyed any part of this video. Or if you're feeling like you just want to do all of that to be nice, well then hey, I'm not going to stop you. Also, go ahead and follow me on Twitter while we still have it, or Instagram, and be sure to tell me your favorite accessories for your desk setups. Seriously, I'm very active on Twitter and I will probably try to read as many as I possibly can and would absolutely love to see what your desks are looking like these days. So the first thing I want to mention is the new Gather collection from a company called UGMonk. UGMonk was kind enough to actually send this out for us to check out, and I am well aware that the price for all of these items together is incredibly expensive for someone's desk. But the moment it was announced, immediately I went over to the Kickstarter because this collection of desk accessories is absolutely fantastic. Again, I have to mention this is not sponsored. Even though they provided the items, this is not any kind of money changing hand scenario. We're not even required to say anything nice about it, but I'm gonna tell you nice things about it because I really wanted to go and back them on Kickstarter because this stuff is really, really nice. And I can say all of this and you can choose whether or not to believe me, but the product clearly speaks for itself, and there are a lot of you out there who really enjoy it because the company was able to blow through its goal pretty quickly. If you still want to fund this project and reserve your own set, then the link will be in the description down below. Again, you don't have to if you don't want to. Also, all of the other products that we talk about in this video will also be down in that description. Now, there's a lot to this collection, but I want to highlight my three favorite things about it, and that's the shelf, the headphone stand, and this laptop stand. Now, I got the black walnut collection, but there's also a white finish with an oak leg option as well. Anything that you see here that's black is made up of high quality aluminum, and the best part about the shelf is that all of the other accessories that you might get with it are magnetic, making it incredibly stable for some of these other products to sit on your desk, and they don't slide around or anything like that. Now, before I received this shelf, I was actually using a similar style shelf from Grovemade, which was very, very good and something that I still actually now use at home. But the best part about this UGMonk shelf is that it fits my Mac Studio perfectly under the shelf itself, which was something I couldn't do with my last shelf. And, you know, for the sake of just everything looking and fitting perfectly, I really wanted that to happen. So it's kind of the perfect dimensions for my current use case. Understandably, this won't be something that everyone finds useful, but if you do have a Mac Studio and was looking for a shelf that it could fit under with your monitor displayed prominently on top, then you'll definitely like this one for sure. Again, these legs are made up of high quality wood that you can get in either walnut or oak, and they just simply screw on once you get the shelf and the other accessories out of the box. Everything really just requires one or at maximum two screws, and they're all thumb screws, so you don't need any tools whatsoever. The same goes with the wood for the headphone stand and even the laptop stand. And speaking of that headphone stand, it's actually pretty simple. It holds your over-the-ear headphones. Any kind will do. For me, it's Space Gray AirPods Max, and yeah, I mean, it's a really nice headphone stand that complements the rest of the accessories. So overall, I just love the look of all of these accessories, and while I know, again, it's pretty expensive, you are getting what you pay for, which is high quality materials and products. The last thing I want to mention about this is the laptop stand, and that you can actually use the laptop stand for your iPad, primarily if you're using a Magic Keyboard attached to it. It works very well, and I've been using this for my current setup, as you can see here, but also switching it out with my MacBook Pro because I've been using that a little bit more going back and forth from the office, and so I can set that up either way, and it's very diverse. Now, on top of the desk shelf here, we have my next accessory that has come in handy a lot, and that's the Vault 276 audio interface from UAudio. This is a fantastic audio interface for those who just really want a stripped down, easy, plug and play setup for their Mac or even your iPad or iPhone. Just one USB-C cable to your Mac gets the job done, and you can power the whole thing, and you now have the ability to record fantastic voiceovers, and you can also use the microphone XLR inputs for other instruments or plug your guitar cable directly in via a 1/4 inch cable, and it uses its custom vintage mic preamp to record guitar directly to your digital audio workstation of choice. I love the vintage style look and the aesthetics, but most of all, the audio itself that it captures is crystal clear and the perfect plug and play solution for my needs, which is just getting quick voiceovers for videos. Another accessory that's underneath that shelf is the OWC Mercury Helios 3S. Now, this video is sponsored by OWC, and I really didn't want to include it in this video because the sponsor doesn't really have anything to do with this current product, but I want to briefly mention it because it is something that I do use on a genuinely daily basis. So what it gives you is a PCIe slot expansions for your storage, which I have an additional 4 terabytes of SSD storage plugged right inside. Super easy. You just slide it in and then use a couple of thumb screws and you're good to go. And on the back is actually a mini dock where you can get one display port, which is a 1.4 port, capable of connecting up to 8K displays. And then there's a couple of Thunderbolt ports for connecting your computer or an additional device that you want to charge. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it's also capable of charging a laptop at 85 watts, and it boasts transfer speeds of around 40 gigabytes per second. This next accessory is one that you didn't know you really needed until you actually get it in-house and set it up. This is the Loupedeck Live, and I believe there's a newer version on the horizon, but I do recommend this current model if you find A, a good deal on it, and B, if you want to get it right now and don't want to wait for the newer version. Basically, it's similar to other devices in its category like the Elgato Stream Deck, but in my opinion, I've used the Elgato Stream Deck, but in my opinion, this has way more functionality and use cases for functions other than streaming. This is the perfect companion for editing photos, videos, producing music, etc. There's tons of profiles that you can get from the software and you can download it online, or you can create your own macro keys for programs. The Loupedeck Live is dynamic and can switch based on the application that you're in. And honestly, to me, it's like kind of having a touch bar on steroids above my keyboard, and is far useful for applications like Final Cut Pro than the touch bar ever was for me. And also, if you don't think you're going to use it for any pro applications, you could just make macros for things that you use on a daily basis that you might want to do faster. Like something that comes to mind is on Spotify, I can actually set up one to launch into a playlist that I kind of listen to all the time. And also this little heart button here, I can hit that, and whatever song I'm listening to, maybe that's not on my current playlist, I can hit the like button and it'll automatically add it to. You can do it for your liked songs, which makes sense, but for me, I like to add things to that playlist. It's kind of a dump for me for any songs that I might discover that's not in it. I hit the heart button and it adds it to that playlist, and it does it immediately. The one thing I don't like is that there's no visual or audio feedback that the macro actually works, but it does work 100% of the time. It's just you have to go in and check if you kind of are like me and don't trust it that it actually did anything. It does. You'll see the songs are in your library, no problem. Right below that, you'll see the keyboard and mouse of choice. Now, typically I use a Magic Keyboard and trackpad up until Logitech released these beautiful new MX Mechanical Mini Keyboard and MX Master 3S mouse for the Mac. And this new lighter color option that I like better than the darker style. I love mechanical keyboards, but often find myself kind of like lacking in some of the current key functions that I might need, or they might just be at a weird enough angle to where long periods of use really kind of hurt the wrists. Now, obviously because of the size, really the one thing that I have a problem with is that there's no number pad here on the right, but you can get the bigger version that Logitech does sell. But I love this color, I love the feel of the keys, and just the overall functionality of this keyboard. I mean, just listen to it, it sounds great. So this keyboard is a great option. It's not too loud, it's not too much extra key travel, and it keeps things fast and efficient. The MX Master 3S is an update to the Master Series mouse, and it just feels really nice to use. One thing that I've noticed over other models, and it's been a while since I've used other models of the MX Master Series, but I'm noticing that it's not so loud or springy when using any of the left or right click options. It's kind of something I didn't think I'd be describing out loud as something I really enjoyed, but here we are. Anyways, you can tell, maybe you can't tell, I don't know how silent it is for you, but I'll try to do some clicks here and let me know what you think. But I think it sounds great. It's not too loud and it has just the right kind of like tactile feedback that makes it satisfying. Also, there are these extra buttons that you can customize here on the side. I love using that thumb wheel for my thumb for kind of horizontal scrolling, and that's so useful for your Final Cut Pro timeline. I cannot stress that enough. And yeah, it's not really a surprise that there's, a reason why a lot of desk videos here on YouTube seem to use these Logitech devices, because they are fantastic. And last but not least, the desk mat. Now, obviously, you probably caught on by now, this isn't any ordinary desk mat, but it's a smart kind of desk mat. First off, it's from a company called Journey, and it's the Alti wireless charging desk mat because, well, you guessed it, it has wireless charging capabilities. You can't see it, it's actually in front of me. I don't know why I did that, but it has the ability up at the top to use a USB-C cable to plug in discreetly, and then underneath that there are two shapes. You got a square and a circle. The square is perfectly designed for wireless headphones like my AirPods or AirPods Pro. And then below that is a larger device like your iPhone. And since it is MagSafe compatible, it is actually predominantly made for your iPhone. And you are looking at a 15-watt charge if you're using a MagSafe compatible phone, or if you're using an iPhone that doesn't have MagSafe, you're looking at 7.5 watts and 5 watts for that square up top there to charge any wireless headphones. Another cool trick about this mat is that this part is actually magnetic, so if you want to remove it, you can, and then you can also flip the mat over to reveal a completely different side. It's reversible. So this on the website is the light gray model, and so you have a light gray, but really to me it's kind of an off-white or beige, like creamy leather side of the mat, and this matches the charging section here, but then if you reverse it, you get the traditional gray color that I like, and that's the one that I use the most, and it's kind of like a felty material. And that's it. I know some of these items can be a bit expensive, and none of these were acquired all at once. That would be ridiculous. But over time, you will gather desk accessories that are perfect for your setup, and that's where we arrived for right now. Also, some of these products were sent to us for review purposes only, and again, no money exchanged hands, and no requirements were made to talk about these. These are just products that, again, I genuinely use on a daily basis. There are tons of products that I test out all the time, but of course, I would love to hear from you on what your favorite accessories are in the comments down below. Before we end today's video, I do want to give you more information about today's sponsor, OWC. Now, I'm not sure how many of you know this out there, but OWC sells used Macs that you can actually go on the OWC website and configure to your liking. That's right, there are configuration options available for used Macs, and they come in fantastic condition. We've actually had a few used products from OWC in the past, and it's pretty much like new every single time. And if you go on the website, there are tons of options from Macs with Apple Silicon to some older Macs. And again, you can configure the amount of processing power that you might have, the GPU potentially, RAM. You can go ahead and configure all of these options just like it seems as if you were configuring your new Mac from Apple's website. It kind of reminds me of the same thing, but you're going to be backed with OWC's expert team for support and a warranty, but also you can get up to 2 years of added protection. And of course, there's a 100% 14-day money-back guarantee if you end up not liking your used Mac. But it's not just limited to Macs, although you can get a MacBook Pro, even Apple Silicon MacBook Pros, MacBook Airs, regular MacBooks, but there's also iMacs, iMac Pros, Mac Pros, a Mac Studio, Mac Mini, iPhones, tablets, displays, etc. The list goes on. So go ahead and check out OWC's website. Click the link in the description down below, and you can check out all of the used Macs, tablets, iPhones, etc. All of the Apple products with that peace of mind, warranty, and money-back guarantee that you get from OWC. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.